Hello, everyone, and welcome to today's C Animation webinar, Co-producing stop-motion feature films across borders. My name is Marta Jalajas, and I will be your moderator today. Thank you all for joining us online. Before we begin, I would like to thank our financial supporters. So firstly, Creative Europe Media, the Czech Audiovisual Fund, also the Ministry of Culture of the Czech Republic, and the APA Association of Audiovisual Producers. Today, we are very happy to welcome Kerdi Oengo, executive producer at stop motion company Nukufilm Studios in Estonia. In this session, Kerdi will share with us her experience with international co-productions in stop motion. This is her focus. What works, or maybe also doesn't work, and how to coordinate sets and team across different countries. We will have also a Q&A session at the end, so please feel free to leave your questions and comments right here in the chat on Facebook, and we will try to get to as many as we can at the end of the session. So once again, welcome everyone, and Kerdi, thank you very much for joining us today, and the floor is yours.
Hello, everybody. As told, I am Kerdi Oengo, the producer in Nukufilm Studios, and I have been working here for more than 20 years already. So I have great experience in producing stop-motion animation. Usually they are short films, but I have done also two feature-length co-productions and today I'm going to give you a short overview about Nukufilm, what it is and what it's doing, and then we'll go through a case study with my feature film Captain Morten and the Spider Queen, which was my second feature film, but it was the first big-scale co-production work what we have done. So let's start with my, I have a PowerPoint here also prepared, so we can see. And at some point I'm going to switch back to my face, maybe when I don't have so much to show. Well, Nukufilm Studio is located in Tallinn, Estonia, and it was founded in 1957. So we are celebrating 68 years this fall. Our official birthday is 25th of November, so it's a little bit more than a month to go there. And what we are doing, this is all kinds of stop motion. We are doing stop motion only. We do classical puppet, sand animation, cutout animation, clay animation, pixelization, whatever you can think about stop motion. We are doing every style of stop motion. And so far we have done 3 full-length features. One of them is Kings of the Time. I am based in Estonia. It's about 2 guys who basically started stop motion animation in Estonia, Elbert Tuganov and Eino Pars. This film was made, 18 years ago. It came out when Nukufilm turned 50 years. Then both of them were still alive. This year we celebrated 100 years from birth of both of them. So now they have left, but their legacy is still there, and their films are still remembered. The next film was our first full-length feature, Lisa Limona and Morocco Ranch, a rapid love story, which was done in 3D in this sense that it was viewable with glasses. So it was a stereoscopical film, and it was actually a musical film. It was a puppet opera, so it was everything what you possibly can or can't imagine on the screen, which made production of this very difficult, but we'll come to that a little bit later. And Captain Morten and the Spider Queen was a real co-production. It was between 3 countries, Estonia, Ireland, Belgium, and little part was also from UK. And it was a really big scale co-production film, which took me 7 years of my life to complete. So we also do short films, and there is also co-production as an option. We have several shorts what we have made in co-production. The Winter Ghost, Eternal Hunting Grounds. Winter Ghost was with Finland. Eternal Hunting Grounds co-production with Norway. Winter in the Rainforest was also quite complex co-production with Estonia, Mexico, and Lithuania. A Man Wanted with Greece, and by now we have also completed one more with France. It's a TV special, 26-minute Zoobox, which came out early this year in France, and now probably has been sold also to other countries. And the other, what is also option is cash rebate, so working as partner but not co-producing. But it can also be combined. For example, the Zoobox, as you can see here, it was partly cash rebate project and partly co-production. So these things can be combined. The same thing with Nesting with Latvia. It's also in production right now. It's also partly cash rebate project and partly co-production project. Okay, and there I would like to show a quick show reel about our films, so you can imagine what is a stop motion. Okay, this was our show reel, and now we're talking about Captain Morten and the Spider Queen, how it was made, what happened during the production, because yeah, it's pretty difficult to do at this scale of films, if even especially when it's your first film. It was released in 2018, and we actually started much earlier, already in 2000 and I guess 7 was the first idea, but real production started a little bit later. So it was that's our poster, and let's start. This is also a short trailer, so you can see what it, if you haven't seen the film, what I'm talking about.
Dad, when are you coming home? captain never abandons his ship.
You're no captain, and that's no ship.
It is a ship, and I am a captain. I want to come with you.
One day I'll take you.
Okay, let's start from the very beginning, what to keep in mind while developing a co-production stop-motion project. Well, when we started it, our idea was that we have to share also the animation process because it's a long film, 75-minute film, and to animate for one studio, it's pretty difficult. And we started with finding a partner who possibly can also, who is having a studio, who can also participate in animation process. That was one of the main goals, to find such kind of studio. And also this partner should be willing to do the co-production film, should have the access to funds to get money, because Estonia is a small country and we definitely can't finance a full-length feature by ourselves. So this was one of the aims, to find such kind of studio. But before that, even when we started the project, we had a brilliant Kaspar Jansis, who had written a book about this subject, and he said that, okay, this will be very good. I am writing a script based on this book, and went home writing the script. And in a couple of months, he came back with a written piece, what he thought was a script, but actually it was another book. So we also started to find a partner who can participate in real script writing process, because Kaspar was, of course, good in thinking about fabula and storylines, but he was definitely not a script writer. And so we found, at first, we found a Canadian studio. They were very eager to work with us. They wanted it very much. They also participated in the script writing process. We got a good script, and we went out for looking other partners. Unfortunately, it didn't work out with Canada, because Canada failed to get financing from their official financing partners, like funds and television. And then they said that, okay, we're sorry, we step out from the project. And we were on the ground zero, on the starting point again. But we had a script already. That was good. And then we came a bit closer, looked around in Europe, and we're talking with brilliant UK-based stop-motion producer Robin Lyons. And he said that, okay, I have friends in Ireland, they are building up a studio, and if you can wait a little bit, a year or so, they will be ready for the next year, and they can be on board. So we were developing the script in the meantime, going on with that stage, and doing all kinds of tests in how to do it in 3D, because after first film we also where we had an ambitious idea to do this film also in 3D, because Canadians in the first place were very interested in 3D, stereoscopic 3D. But finally we dropped that idea. But anyway, a whole year went on developing the script, and then Robbie Lyons called us and said, okay, the Irish co-production is actually ready, we can talk. So, and we talked with the Irish co-producer, and we found a partner. And what is good with that co-partner wants to animate, in our script it was very easy to divide animation between two companies, because the storyline, the script enabled that. Part of the story takes place in real world, and the other part of the story takes place in a small toy boat, what you saw in the trailer. The boy is Morten is building a toy boat and collecting different kinds of insects for the crew there, where the kid is playing. And then something happens, some magic happens, and all these things get shrunk, and he gets shrunk, and he finds himself on his toy boat with those same insects, and he is also in the size of the insect. And the problem for him is that nobody from these insects don't think about him as a captain. He thinks that I am a captain now on my toy boat, but nobody thinks that he's a captain. And he has to fight for his place and to stay alive at first with all these cruel insects, and also find a way how to become big boy again, because father is at some point is coming home from sea, and he finds also a big problem what he has to solve while being small. So we had two worlds. One was the insect size world, and the other was the normal size world. So it was ideal dividing point between two companies. Only one puppet was the same. Captain Morten was the same in both parts. Other puppets were a little bit different. As you can see, we have here the two worlds. One is the real world, and the other is the puppet insect world. So all the characters look a little bit the same, but they are still different characters. So we built all different characters for both worlds. Only Captain Morten or the boy was the same in both parts. So this was very good. We could divide it, was about half and half in both worlds. So this was very good to divide like this, and both studios were happy they can animate, because animation is the part which is the most useful and most interesting part of filmmaking process at all. The other question was how to get better and easier understanding between co-produce partners. Estonia and Ireland are both small countries in the sense of Europe. Estonia, of course, is smaller. We have only 1.3 million people living in Estonia. Ireland a little bit bigger with 5 million or 4.5, something like that. And the next third co-partner was Belgium, which is also considered a relatively small country in Europe, but still they have other advantages. Half the country is French-speaking, which opens all the French-speaking territories and French funds for them. It was much easier to work with them. So, and finally, not finally, but very important part is how to make the clear division workflow. And we all have to understand very exactly what we are doing. But it means that, okay, one partner is doing this part, the other partner is doing that part, but we have to make all the decisions definitely together. And this was also good exercise of communication. We set up definite time, concrete time every week. We had a web meeting. Everybody was present. And what is good, Europe is approximately in the same time zone. Estonia, Ireland, and Belgium, we have only, well, maximum 2 hours time difference. With Canada, it was much more difficult to talk because there was a time difference of 7 or 8 hours. And it meant that if somebody was in the morning, the other partner was already in the evening. So it was difficult to find a suitable time. But Estonia, Ireland, Belgium all had 1 hour difference. It was pretty easy to communicate. And Estonia and Ireland have relatively similar financing systems involving local financing bodies like state financing from Estonia from Film Institute and Cultural Endowment, and Ireland also has their film center, and they have plus also those times they already had this tax insensitive, so they were very good position with financing. Belgium had their own ways. And our division of work was that Estonia was doing all the designing part. We had our director, Estonian director. We were an Estonian designer who was doing all character design and background design. And we were doing also the main part of the puppets and we were creating also the puppet for puppets for Ireland. That they are the same type, but same construction. And Belgium part was post-picture post-production. Belgium studio was not exactly puppet studio. They were VFX studio, and if you are doing post-production, actually it doesn't matter that you're not stop motion studio. We had a lot of picture post there. The cafe where you saw were in the trailer situation where it takes around when mother says to the boy that you're not a captain. It takes place in a cafe, and there happens a plumbing problem, and the cafe is filled with water while this toy shop is floating. So all this water stuff was for Belgium to decide how to do and come up with the solutions. So the workflow was clear, but now we had to establish the relationship between ourselves. We visited several times. Every partner went to the other studio to see how they are working, what they are doing, how it's going to work. So we could just be very clear about everything what the other partner is doing. And we had also a problem. We are all different language countries. Belgium has French and local Flemish language. Ireland has Irish language. We are very proud of their Irish. And Estonia is Estonian speaking. And of course, co-production film has to be in English. When we were talking with Canadians, then we found out that it's a problem between different Englishes. English is not just English. There is UK English and there is American English. And Canadian English is something like, it's called transatlantic English. This was the first time I heard this kind of a definition for this kind of English. And when Canada fell out, then we were facing the problem, which English should we use, and then we decided that we are going to use Irish English and Irish actors because their English is also a little bit different. The question why we had to choose the right English was that in America they don't stand English, and in England they don't stand American English. So some third English will open for us both countries, both territories for screening the film. So we were using Irish actors, and actually this worked very well. So, and actual production time, what might go wrong in your production? Well, one point what might go wrong is that financing schemes can be similar, but all the countries, they have submission times, different times. The decision time is different in each country. Of course, we had to be first to start and come out with our, that we had to show that Estonia has given us the money, so the others might come along. So this makes the financing time much longer. Unfortunately, if we get money in Estonia, there is a certain time within we have to start production. So we started the production without everybody's financing plans were together. So it was a risk. We were willing to take it because the Irish said, okay, whether we get the money or not, but we are willing to do this film. And we took a risk of starting production in Estonia before we got a clear answer from Ireland, have they covered their financing or not. And this is a big problem, because when something happens and the partner doesn't get the money, then the whole project is in risk. And we had also a big problem because we applied for Eurimage and we didn't get the money from Eurimage. And we were counting on that money too. It was something like 500,000 euros, which is a pretty big part of the financing plan. So this is something what you should always think about, that if you do a co-production, you have to think about how the different financing schemes work together. When are the application times? When do you need the papers from one country to show the clear money what you have already landed and got? And what happens if some money is in just in risk or you don't get it? This is a problem. But we actually we had a very good relationship between the three studios of us, and we started to think what happens when something like this happens. And actually we came out from the situation. It meant that the production time was longer, but we still came out from that situation. So this was what I was talking, how to balance between different co-producers and partners, having with different schemes and different problems. Well, Calon from UK, they had didn't have exactly money from UK, but our partner was just putting in different kind of like in-kind sources. He was consulting a project. The script was picking then actors, working with the actors, doing rehearsals with them, and he got like 10% from that work. What he got never paid for actually, but it was calculated in the budget, and was part of that. It was Estonian initiated project. We had our director and our designer and our DOP, and this also become a problem because well, not having these people on board was not a problem, but Estonian salary level in those times was much lower than in other parts of Europe. So if we calculated our costs and Ireland calculated their cost and Belgium calculated their cost, then came up a problem that we as a main producer were ending up with the smallest financial part. And there comes in the so-called own financing part in kind, which is never paid out, but is calculated in a different scale because we had to increase creative part budget because our salary is what we pay to the director and what, for example, Ireland pays to the director. The sums are very different. So this was a big issue also to balance the budget overall to be that we as a main producer could be at least 35% from the whole production, that we should be the biggest co-producer in this part. But having understanding co-producers, partners, it was possible, and it is doable. The question was that the division of rights came by one calculations, and the division of possible income after selling the product, this was decided according to the financial part of each party. So this is also something what you have to talk through already in the beginning, probably, and be very clear in that and put it all down written, because then it's much more difficult to come back from your sayings. But actually, we found a way, and all three partners, we are still friends and ready to work again if it's possible. And there is also a very important thing during the production is think ahead. What's next? If the production is over, the film is ready, what do you need for promoting your film? What do you need for selling it? How to do that? So one point is finding a sales agent who is going to do that actual work, but they are asking from you very many different materials. So please collect added value materials like making of, time lapse, make a lot of photos about the process. This all is very important, and you can use that afterwards in marketing and in PR. Everybody is very willing to see the making of, for example, of a stop motion movie because it's so different. It's difficult to find something like this for computer-made movies, but in stop motion, it's a real value and it can be used afterwards. So here, this is what we did, the off-screen photos, how a director was working, how he was thinking, how he was putting together a storyboard, how they were working together with designer and TV. So all these off-screen photos will be very valuable, and also making of. I can show you now a little making of video here. So here it is. And here is also another short time-lapse scene. Okay, this was this is very valuable material. Afterwards, all the distributors use that in selling the film and in different meetings with children and with viewers, and it was really valuable part of the and think also about trailers while you are shooting, because you need the trailers, different kind of trailers. If it's a long feature production, you probably go to cartoon forum several times. Every time you need different material to show there. So it's to put it together from the material you have filmed is one point, but also you think about how you can just construct the trailer while shooting, and maybe sometimes there is something else you need, something different from the actual material to include in the trailer. So think about the trailers also while shooting the film. This was a short introduction of our other film and what went wrong there. We tried to avoid all these problems. Captain Morten, but it was not possible until the end. This film was mainly a Estonia film. It started like a half-an-hour film, but then we kept writing it longer to make a full-length feature. We thought that we can do it alone in Estonia only, but it was not the case. We were started looking for partners only after the filming process were over to find a co-production partner for post-production. So these were all mistakes. So don't do that. Put the plan together before you start the actual production. And this is all. Thank you. I see that the time is also over. Coming back to my face here. So I hope it was interesting for you. And stop motion has to be illustrated with some background material. So it is a little bit different production from computer animation.
Thank you very much, Kerdi, for this nice intro to the whole co-production, international co-productions for stop motion. I think there are some questions also, or just to come back a bit to some to a few points. Maybe just the first question, just to go at the beginning of the whole session. You were speaking about the concept about script writing. Do you, for example, advise to start working already with the script writer to keep in mind, especially for feature films, to try to already figure out how to make the shooting on different places possible, as you were saying that you were already speaking about two different worlds. So if it's better already to start in this to keep in mind from the beginning of the concept.
Yes, this is the idea because, as soon as a small country, we definitely can't finance the whole film by ourselves. So a big part of financing comes from somebody else. So they also need to do some work which they get the points for. And animation is one of the works where you get the points easily, because animator gives you points, DOP gives you points, things like that. So, and it's interesting. And if you start a script, then it's very good to think from the very beginning how you can divide it between two partners. Well, in our case, it was easy. It was different worlds, small world and a big scale world, but it can be like interiors, exteriors, if you don't have different walls. But think about it already while writing the script, then it will be easier to just divide the work later.
Okay. And speaking about the shooting in different countries, I wanted to open a very huge question. Maybe could be also solved in with your perspective that you were doing the shootings like really just 20 years ago, and now with the challenges of green filming and all these new setups which are more challenging for stop motion. How do you deal with this new green filming, green animation tasks? Do you have there already kind of a new guides, or where do you take inspiration how to use the new materials, or just all this stuff, which is very often also connected to some fundings. So if just to have several countries on board, it helps you also that in some countries they are more green friendly, I would say, or working already with some materials.
Yes, this is a big question because um, we have had problems with this question because, for example, when you fill the European submission to media, to Slate, then you have to answer a lot of questions about going green. Going green in stop motion is a little bit different because we are really using real materials and not only computers, and we are using real sets. And well, actually, in this case, it's even easier to explain how you go green because you can reuse a lot of things. Um, you can reuse the base of the set, the floors, whatever. You just repaint them and you can reuse them a lot. Uh, Backgrounds you can reuse. This is no problem with that. And even if you start using different materials, the amount of the material you need in stop motion is relatively small. For example, if you buy fabric, we don't buy like 10 meters and 20 meters. We buy, well, 50 centimeters, 20 centimeters. And that's a problem when I'm going to the shop and I bring different material rolls to the counter, and the guy there in the shop is already very happy that, oh, I'm going to sell a lot. Okay, please me 50 centimeters of that, 20 centimeters of that. We use a small amount of materials, and we also look through always this scrap baskets where they have the leftovers. So this is always a little greener than using new material. And we are actually quite a lot buying our materials for puppet clothes and everything. We go to second-hand shops because there the material is already it's washed, and we know how it looks like after when it's because sometimes we need to wash the clothes for puppets too because they get dirty during filming, and then we already know that nothing happens with the materials. The color doesn't change anymore, it doesn't shrink anymore, whatever. So we need actually this already used materials. And for other kind of like PVC, whatever, we could go to bigger companies which use it for big scale things and ask, do you have some leftovers? Because from every plate of plywood or PVC, there are some leftovers. And we don't need big pieces. We need smaller pieces. So, and quite a lot of material we get in this way and pay much less for that, and which is waste for one, it's asset for the other. So this is going green in stop motion.
And can you compare, for example, those films that you are making, that each country is making their own sets, so you don't need to share the same materials, which means that you are not sending those materials from one country
Yeah,
to
we are
another?
not sending anything over. We yeah, every because when you get money from your country, you have to spend it in your country.
Sure.
That's clear. So we are, yeah, definitely building sets in the place where the filming is going on. Yeah, sometimes we share puppets, but puppets, they are a small amount, and anyway, we also sometimes share people that people are going to shoot to the other country to keep the continuity. Because if somebody has animated, for example, one character, he knows how to repeat the same movements, and it's if the same character is doing it there, it's easier for him to travel over there than to start from the beginning. And then, well, puppets are small. We can carry them along with our luggage, no problem. We don't have to send them separately. Of course, there are different possibilities. Sometimes you need to send something over, but yeah, going green and reusing things, it's everyday life for us from the very beginning. We didn't have to invent this. We were reusing materials anyway in our work.
Together with this goes also another question. If you're watching, for example, the innovation aspect versus traditional way of production that you are having already, and Nukufilm has decades of animation experience, stop motion experience, and will probably never transition to other animation techniques due to this long-term expertise specialization. This is what I am reading, just a question from the audience. While being expert in what you do, is there still room for innovation in terms of production pipelines or the animation technique itself? So, in general, just to bring some new innovative tools and keeping the tradition of stop motion, the European stop
Of course,
motion,
of course it
mostly.
is. So our Kerdi Oengo studio is films made by hand. It means that we are trying to do as much as possible on the camera, but you can't do everything on the camera because, for example, water is extremely difficult to animate under the camera. It never does what you want, and you can't animate water frame by frame. That's for sure. So water is always a thing that is left done with the post-production companies in post-production, not only the water. Sometimes we do the water also, but we replace water with other materials. We use some, even dust we can animate under the camera. But there are things what we can't do. And afterwards, of course, there is the cleaning up session where we need to clean up our rigs out from and we need to uh, put masks and take away the green backgrounds and things like that. And there is always, yeah, for example, now AI coming in, and there are a lot of features what we can use in this post-production part. Uh, Always new materials are coming in. So we are testing new materials. We are trying to get the puppet movements better and more, well, smooth. Uh, this is this is something what one part is what you can learn with experience for years, but there are always coming also some new materials. When, for example, we switched over from wire armature to ballpoint armatures, uh, it was a big step ahead, and this is we we even can't imagine what new materials might be coming. So we have picked up all the materials beginning from silicon was coming, and now the 3D printing. So yeah, there is always something new coming up, and we try to get as much as possible out of that for us.
This may be also a good way to make the international cooperations that the partners
Absolutely.
can
Yes,
bring.
absolutely. Yeah. Yeah, to bring in new materials, how somebody has used it, what's the experience is, and yeah, this is, yeah, stop motion companies, they share their expertise and their uh, how they have worked with this and that. Uh, yeah, we do share if we do a co-production. Yeah.
Perfect. So I'm watching now the chat. There are some thumbs up and very warm thank you for the webinar for you, Kerdi. I will also join
For listening.
these last words. Thank you very much for joining us. I think that if anyone's got any question to Kerdi, you can always join her. In the description of this webinar, there is her contact or contact to the studio. So don't hesitate to reach Kerdi anytime that you would like to maybe join also for some nice co-production, future co-productions. So thank you very much for this nice insight, and I'm looking forward to seeing you somewhere in another occasion.
Okay, thank you for listening to me, and thank you for the interesting questions. And I think there is a lot about to talk about stop motion, and about not only stop motion, but I mean from different perspective for different countries, different financing systems, different questions what we have in co-production. So yeah,
Definitely, we will continue on this topic during our webinar, so we
it's
maybe
very
will come back to it. Thank you very much. Thank you all for joining us, for listening to us, and enjoy your day. See you tomorrow also. Thanks.
thank you, and see you again.